And we are live. Hello, HTV Boxing fans. It is the end of the year, and we'll be talking about trying to review the year. This is going to be fun. We're going to try and review the year and also talk about what we are going to look forward to in the coming year. 2022 in boxing has been a bunch of mixed feelings for me personally. We had some great fights. We could have had greater fights, but some didn't happen. But we also had some sad moments in the year of 2022 in boxing. And today I have my co-host here who will be discussing the year with me, Gabby of Gapstar. But before we do that, let's take a moment of silence and go through for some of the people that we lost in 2022 in boxing. Just a moment of silence. We lost a lot of people this year. Some famous ones, some not so famous. Some boxers. We lost referee Mills Lane. We lost some boxers in the ring after a bout. Some with brain damages, some with heart damages.
Yeah,
So,
quite a sad moment.
Gabby, what was your I would say your moment in boxing in 2022 before we get started?
Come to think of it, basically it's based on what we just experienced. 166 boxers. You can tell, of course, some of them have reached their prime in their life, they are old and all that. But boxing being a contact sport comes with a lot of health issues. If you can of course, boxing docs, you can always back that. 2022, I would say, just based on what we just read, the Musa Yamak incident was very pathetic. To think of the fact that a boxer just had a heart seizure in the ring and just goes like that. Sometimes when we say boxers need to go through a lot of health checks before they have a fight, people tend to have issues with clearing them and all that. But I feel these are some of the reasons. And you being in the medical field, you would have more insight into some of these things. I feel it's a sad moment to lose a boxer in the field of his trade.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Musa Yamak's situation was very sad. A heart attack in the ring. That was very sad. But it also brings my mind to another one, Simiso Buflezi in South Africa.
Exactly.
The boxer that was seen kind of puncturing shadows. That was also a very sad moment. But there were, besides that, other moments in boxing that I think we will be going through today. We're going to talk about some of our best boxers who proved themselves worthy in the year of 2022. And you are welcome, everyone, if you are watching, to join. Bring your own candidates as well for each of the categories that we'll be talking about. You can drop the names in the comment section and argue your point. All these are opinionated. Some of our choices are also based on what majority of boxing community think. Some are also personal opinions. So bring your own, and this is boxing around the world. Later, we're going to have another boxing enthusiast and very knowledgeable post on there who highlight a bit of Ghana African boxing while we talk about the year in general. So if you're also watching, this is your first time, subscribe and like as we go on. We're going to start with our men's fighter of the year. Men's fighter of the year. Gabby, who did we choose? Who do you think deserved
who
it?
it is. At this particular point, you wouldn't want to be messing with them, but then the Russians are on fire. Bivol. Dmitry Bivol. He's the man to beat. 2022. He's on fire.
Yes, I think that he deserves it.
Nobody.
I think he deserves it. Dmitry Bivol deserves it. He puts on a spectacular fight, specifically against Canelo. There were some other standout names as well for this year besides Bivol. I thought that Jesse Rodriguez did well this year. Shakur Stevenson, in his own way, also did well. And then, of course, we can't leave out the undisputed champions of this year, the Hades did well. But I think Paul was the one that ticked all the boxes for going to the new year.
So based on his technical abilities, Canelo trying to go up to fight Bivol, I've always had my doubts because the light heavyweight division is not easy like that. Although Canelo is good, my best fighters in the modern era. I think Bivol is a master of his weight class. So he thought he was going to put up an open position against, which he did. But Bivol was always tipped to come out. Yeah.
I agree, and I felt like, well, not only did he, after finishing off Canelo, he went on to fight another good Mexican fighter, Ramirez, Johnny Ramirez, and handed him his first career loss in a unanimous decision.
Reason why people is
So I think it's the men's fighter of the year is Bivol is well deserving. If anybody has any other choices, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section. But our men's fighter of the year goes to Dmitry Bivol. Now, women's fighter of the year. Now, before we go into that, I thought there were some interesting performances from different camps. This year, women's boxing was elevated in several ways.
I've always wanted to see that.
We got to give credit where it's due. It seems like the other promoters on the other side of US actually in the name of Hearn elevated women's boxing, and we got to give credit where it's due. So women's boxing did well in 2022. But our fighter of the year in terms of women is
Clarissa
Shields. I think Shields did what she needed to do this year. She cemented her name as perhaps what she always calls herself, greatest woman of all time. That's what she sees herself as.
with the W.
Yeah, and I mean before going to Savannah, the silent assassin, who was then undefeated. She made sure she beat somebody else, in the name of Ima Kozin, before moving on to do that. And she became undisputed.
She had her background in MMA and has given her this resilience. I think the other women that's one thing. Being an MMA fighter and moving on to do boxing, that takes a lot of work. to even cement your name in this sport, you need to have a lot of concentration on what you're doing. But she's actually adding on being an MMA fighter as well as a boxing enthusiast. So,
And she's excelled.
yeah, both ways.
I think next year is going to be interesting. They have a clause in there that they should be having a rematch. And for American fans, we hope it happens here in the US. But I feel like it's going to go back to the UK because the UK patronizes women boxing a lot.
But I feel she'll take a while before the middleweight they're able to unseat her.
So you think a rematch is a rematch?
She's gonna take it. She's gonna take it.
So why should we even first go?
Of course, you need of course if we're able to Wilder Fury over how many times? Third time already. We should be able to lift the women's sport that way. So let's keep on building the vibe around boxing. Yeah.
We're gonna head to our next category. Man, I really wish we could save this. Actually, I would want us to fight. Before we comment on it. Our next category was Women's Fight of the Year. Essentially, almost the fight of the year. I would say, and I think a lot of both male and female, and I think a lot of the boxing community agree. Let's see. Let's go straight to round 10. So that we don't get copyright. English. This is round 10 of our Women's Fight of the Year, our Fight of the Year, which is Katie Taylor versus Amanda. Look at that. Now these ladies loved it out.
Yeah.
There were a couple of matchups. We talked about Shields and Savannah, but this non-surprising Katie versus Taylor. Yes, final round 10. I mean, these ladies slugged it out. Katie and Amanda Serrano slugged it out, and it was just a fun. It took a long time to get these two in the ring. But once it happened, they made history for boxing. Look at that.
Endurance is what the game is called. If you're able to stand on your feet till that time, that's what it is.
Katie Taylor took Amanda down by a split decision and handed Serrano her first career loss in 10 years, and retained her undisputed lightweight crown.
This deserves a real. What do you think?
I doubt it's going to happen, but if you miss this fight, you should probably search for it and watch it. And the Zone has it on YouTube. You can watch the highlights. It's a well-deserving fight. Two of them slugged it out, went all at it, and it was not disappointing. Now, in the era of boxing where all those that have zero losses don't want to lose it. In women's boxing, we actually had two women that put their zeros on the line. This is why boxing rules above men's boxing in 2022. There were a lot of fights that we were expecting to happen in men's boxing that did not happen. Let me see.
You could say people were chipping in out at the latter part of the negotiation based on the same things you're talking about. not wanting to lose.
That's exactly what happened. Nobody wanted to lose. Nobody wanted to put Brazil on the line, but Serrano put Hezro on the line after so many years, and Savannah also put Hezro on the line. They both lost, but it was a great fight. So our women's fight of the year, essentially fight of the year for us. And I think a lot of the boxing community agree. Is Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Go watch it if you didn't watch it. Our next category you got for us. Yes. So of course we have to talk about men's fight of the year. And I think most boxing agree with us here. It was Leah Wood versus Michael Conlan. Now I'm gonna say the fight. I personally thought should have made it. It was the moving fight that should have was a contender. By the way. And the fight was slow on the one side. I thought it was a great fight to watch. Before Canelo was good. Saw two great fighters. I thought that Kambosos versus Haney Kambosos put on a good fight, and therefore I thought it was a good fight. That's me personally. But then Leah versus Conlan, I thought it was a good fight. That shows that it was on another level of slugging it out. To have gone 12 rounds, someone and the final round drop the person. That tells you mental toughness and mental fortitude. You need to be able to stand on your feet till that time. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of training and discipline. So I feel that what comes out as the best. Because for them to have gone the full haul and in the final round, dramatic just and not only that. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, these two names are not big names, but they put enough fight that they've made a lot of people's list as a men's fight of the year. Don't have 12 rounds and 12 rounds. They actually going to wait for the score. That was how. Okay, maybe they agreed that they would do score long. Just wait for the score. Just wait for the scorecast to determine one to have dropped the other. And that knockout, ladies and gentlemen, if that knockout was literally a lethal one and sent over the road. I actually think that is our next category of the year, which is the knockout of the year. If you didn't see it, you should watch it. But before I go more into the Wood and Conlan knockout, I thought the knockout of Caleb Plant with the name is not coming to me. Caleb Plant's knockout this year was actually a good one. And if you didn't watch it, you should watch it. It's been nominated for Saturday knockouts. Oh, definitely. Was it? When you get the Caleb, you get it. It was part of the knockout. Definitely. Darrell. There you go. Plant versus Darrell. The name was not coming to that was a good knockout as well. And made the list. But Wood versus Conlan. Any fan who saw this bout will never forget how 34-year-old ended the night to prove himself as the most lethal opponent in 2022. I think Wood made an incredible comeback after suffering a brutal first round knockout to put Conlan on the canvas.
to just in the 12 round have enough energy to throw somebody over the ropes. That's something else. That is beyond this world. What kind of energy we have stored till that moment? Biggest corner they prepped him well, they psyched him well, they made sure that they kept him energized till the final round. He knew the right things to do till that final moment when he saw the chance and took it just the way a pro should do it. So you give it to him.
Yeah. I think it was well deserved.
Yeah.
I still like the plan, Gerald, but I think this was well deserved. All right. So one of the things that we always do going into the New Year's, we look at some of the fighters that we are going to look forward to, and that brings us to our men's prospect of the year. Who is
Keyshawn Davis.
Why do you think so?
Look at the work he's put in this point. So this point, since his debut, that should tell you where he's going. He has a mind of a champion. He's made up his mind. He's going to clear everybody who comes his way. So that's exactly what I see in him. I feel that the future can just be bright for him.
And I think that he set up himself as one of the young fighters to look out for in the future of boxing. There were other guys, but the businessman, as he likes to be called, ended the year with 3 wins, with 2 coming by way of knockout. He knocked out Esteban Sanchez, Omar Behinen, and also scored a unanimous decision against Juan Carlos. But there are other fighters in the top rank stable that I thought also need to look forward to. The heavyweight Gerald Anderson. He's going to make some names, a name for himself. And then there are also some stable fighters.
Frank knows how to select. He knows how to get the good guys.
He just takes all the Olympians.
Yeah, you always say that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
because Olympics is the best, should I say, training ground for pro boxers. The greats of Ali and the rest, they all pass through. Tyson and they all
but sometimes not all Olympians make it though.
Yeah, but you know, most of the greatest, just check the records. You realize that most of them were Olympians before.
Yeah, so I mean, these guys happen to be Olympians. You also have Carrington there in the top rank stable. These are young boxers that we are going to look forward to. But definitely, Keyshawn Davis is going to be there as our men's prospect of the year. I like Gerald Anderson so much, big baby. But I think Keyshawn deserves this award. Women's prospect of the year. Going to next year, as well as women boxing did this year, we have to look forward to it again. Of course, people are looking forward to Shields and Marshall going at it again, possibly in the US. But there are some of the young ones that we also have to look forward to. And the prospect of the year is Sky Nicholson. I thought Nicholson set herself up, apart from the many female boxers we saw this year. She proved her love for the sport. She stayed active and all throughout the year with 5 bouts. She has a rather unique style of attack comprising of some foot feints and dynamic body movements, which makes her very unpredictable.
The skill acquired over time. I think she's been training well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see her go for a world title shot next year.
Sure. In the women's division, it's open. It's an open field. So as good as you can be, you just need to make sure you keep your head up and just fight for those titles.
Yep. So our next category, I think I'll let G's take this.
Which other fight? It boils down to my favorite coming up against the greatest in the division. I love Canelo. You know, his days against Mayweather and all those things. I used to really love the way he comes into fights and the way he's determined. But here's a case: the upset of the year. Canelo versus Bivol. Dimitri Bivol defeating Canelo was my upset of the year. I don't know about you, but I know that they qualified for that, and I think others agreed with us. No, Canelo Alvarez, Bivol entered the ring at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and everybody thought this was going to be the upset for Bivol, since Canelo has proven over the years that in his division, he unified all the belts, right?
Mhm.
He had everything there is to take in his weight division, and moving up to the lightweight division, he just wanted to create that record that he could move up and take the belt from Bivol. But the Russian general wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. As far as they're at war now, he's not ready to let anything go to the curb. So, Charlie,
I
feel-
think many in the boxing world may not have been surprised,
yeah.
but Canelo was the one that was tipped to win.
Exactly. That's
So
what I'm saying.
so so
But
the-
you think of his pedigree in his weight division. Always when you have to go up, it's not easy.
Mhm,
That's what I felt.
mhm,
To gain more, to go and fight somebody who is well established in the weight division,
mhm.
it takes a lot of guts and the kind of energy you have to exert to be able to bring a man in that category down. It is light heavyweight is just a step away.
Mhm.
That's a big man right there.
Okay.
So trying to cut a tree that size down, it will take a lot of energy. And he trying to reach, his reach was also his advantage.
Mhm,
You know, Bivol has a lot of, he's taller.
mhm,
He's more than 6 foot.
mhm.
So his reach against Canelo was more of a shorter person in that fight. So he's shorter and lighter than Bivol, who is taller and heavier.
Mhm.
So his reach made everything different. His jabs, everything. Technically, Bivol is something else. He's very good with his footwork and the power he possesses and everything. So it was definitely going to be an upset for Canelo. But although I wished, I was part of the many who thought Canelo was going to win. But you can't stop the Russian tanker. That's how I call it.
I think in short, we say before give Canelo a run for his money.
Exactly.
And his brilliant defenses coupled with his quick and powerful shots
Exactly.
did exactly what he needed to do. Do we have our guest on? I don't think so. So let's go to our next category of the year.
Okay.
All right. Trainer of the year. Trainer of the year. I mean, trainers are a special group of people when it comes to boxing. And especially a group of people when it comes to boxing. And I feel like sometimes they don't get their due.
Yeah.
But they actually do all the work.
Of course.
And and
yeah, the technical brain behind everything that goes on in the ring.
okay.
He sees what the boxer doesn't see.
Okay. I think we have our guest. On there. I don't see your video.
Oh, you don't see my video?
Yeah.
Wait, it's strange. Can you see me now?
Not yet.
Come on. I see you.
Not yet.
You're still hiding behind the curtain.
Oh, for real? You can't see me yet.
No.
That was weird. I think I have to let me go off and come back because I can see you guys.
My people are watching. Kofi is still hiding behind the curtain.
Uh-huh.
The white bearded men are scaring you away.
Thank you, Kwame Baden, for watching with us.
Rita Boateng. Oh, I see.
Rita Boateng, well done, guys. Hey, thank you, Rita. We are almost done. We needed our guest to give us the African summary of the year. So we'll be with you soon once we get his technical
sorted out.
Let's see.
I'm here now. Can you see me?
Kofi, you may have to do this without video because we hear you, but we don't see video.
Wow, I'm going to send you what I see because I think maybe I don't know if it's coming from my side, but I can see everything clear. I can see you guys.
Great. Welcome, Kofi.
Thank you, Gabi.
So Kofi,
Yeah.
before I would want you to you've been following African boxing, and we want you to give us a summary. But before you do that, what was your take on boxing in general in the world of 2022?
If you ask, I mean, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. And it's been a pleasure always coming on STV. Guys, and good to have Gabi on with you as well. Great.
Thanks, Kofi.
Partner to talk boxing with. Overall, I'll say boxing in 2022 has been amazing. I mean, if you talk about the world boxing in general, except for Ghana boxing, I say that because I mean, I had a lot of expectations with the new president coming in, but it didn't go the way I was thinking things should go. It's a very delicate or complicated thing to talk about because if you talk about it, you are sidelined. People point figures at you, but it is what it is. We all know that boxing is politics, and in our part of the world, the people handling the sport are too political that they are limiting boxing from shining. But if you talk about boxing in the world, I mean, it's been amazing. Look at Tanzania. I'm saying Tanzania because most of the shows that come top of head in terms of Africa, I'll say Tanzania.
Yeah. Sure.
They did a lot of shows in Tanzania. And ESPN partnered with a promoter in South Africa. And elevated their sport to the next level. Listen to the partner ESPN.
Not a joke.
It's not exact. It's ESPN. So
not a joke.
It tells you that the potential in Africa is there. You know, so
It's great.
I want to say a very big shout out to Golden Globes and South Africa for holding this thing down, pushing their fighters. Even if you look in the world, the African country that were able to send a lot of local fighters to go fight in the world in South Africa. So shouts to them.
Wow.
And they really did well. I also have to give credit to Nigeria. Because they also did a couple of shows. Salah Fawaz. In connection with you, STV, you know, you guys did an amazing show. I also followed the Go TV shows that they did over there. Also brilliant and very amazing.
Great.
Yes, Cote d'Ivoire had a few shows. Congo. I don't know if you know, at the moment the only African world champion we have is from Congo. Ilogu Makambu. So he's the one holding us down. We are hoping that he'll be able to defend it until he gets somebody to come. Let's say, how do I say this? Put Africa on the map. So on that front, I think that is it in terms of Africa. In the world, we're able to see Tyson Fury. We're able to see David Henry become undisputed. We're also able to see. I think this year we've had about three undisputed fights, right?
Yeah. Are you including the ladies?
Yes.
Yes. Shields became undisputed.
Yes. Clarissa Shields became undisputed.
And in Inoue.
Yeah.
You know, the monster was also undisputed. I mean, that guy. Hey, I can't wait for the fight when he moves to Super Bantamweight to fight Fulton. You know, they've been talking about it, so I'm really interested in that fight. I hope we get to see it in 2023. But
and that's my next question to you. That what are you looking forward to in 2023?
I just wish Ghana boxing can get better. To be sincere. See,
Sure.
look at what is happening in South Africa, right? If there's nothing at all, their fighters are going to get some platform which is going to market them. The only problem that we've had in Africa is that our fighters fight, but nobody sees them. You know, if you have ESPN backing you, or let me say, or being your TV partner, you know your fighters are going far. It's not rocket science that their fighters are getting to the you know. Kelvin Larena went to UK to fight Daniel Dubois. And you see the performance he gave. Very fantastic performance. Even though he lost, Daniel Dubois felt like, yeah, this guy really came. In their fight, they had 6 knockdowns in just one fight. And they did a very short only have to, within round 1 to round 3, we had 6 knockdowns back to back, each of them. And that is what you really want to see in a heavyweight fight, right? Where you see where you just and then like a surprise. Because at one point, how do you say, Larena was like on top because he had already scored 2 knockdowns straight, and the boy came back to also score 2 knockdowns straight. And so, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I was very excited with that particular fight.
That was a good one.
Going to 2023. I'm hoping that Makambu will not be the only world champion from Ghana. From Africa. We can get like 2 or 3 world champions also from Africa. You know, I'm really promoting my side because
definitely.
I feel like our fighters deserve the opportunity as much as we don't get such bodies to give us the opportunity. I feel like it can only get better, but only get better. And I talk about it, and people in the world get to see it. Why are these guys talking about Africa? We feel like we are underprivileged. But if you give us the opportunity, we'll be able to go far. And that's why I bring in the Africa factor in this conversation.
Yeah.
You think some quick round questions, then we will end the show. You think Crawford Spence gonna happen?
I think it's gonna happen. I watched the Crawford live when he was explaining what is happening or what has happened between him and Spence. Spence came out to dispute some of the things, but it would be great if he had also had his own version of a life and say these things because there's something about life. It's difficult to lie when you're on life, unless you have scripted everything, right? And if you look at the way Crawford came out on that particular live that he did, like there were even a lot of mistakes for it to happen. Like I think this guy is really going wrong. What is really happening behind the scenes? I would have loved Errol to come up to also like update boxing fans because see the biggest fight in boxing to be made is Crawford and
Spence.
You mean in 2023 or you mean in general?
I mean in general. That's the fight.
Hey,
modern era.
In the modern era.
Yeah. See, we could say maybe AJ and Tyson Fury, but I'm putting this as the biggest because these are like the top dogs in welterweight, undisputed, like one undisputed champion who have moved up to 100. Who have moved up to the welterweight and wants to show them that he can also be undisputed at that particular division as well.
Sure.
Everything that he has done so far shows that he can do it. And we have the landlord who is already there, Errol Spence, who have beaten everybody to collect the title to say that I'm only waiting for this guy to make the fight happen. And so it's a fight everybody's looking forward to see. I mean, the biggest fight to be made now in welterweight is this particular fight. And I'm saying it's bigger than the AJ versus Tyson Fury because AJ has lost a couple of fights. And it's not like a title. It's a fight we would like to see because we would like to see he can do something. If he can beat
the two Brits meeting, King of England.
For this fight, it's a pure 50-50 fight. You and I can't say for sure that it's going to go to like the Errol side or it's going to go like on the Crawford side. I feel like even the calls are going to go for 50-50 so that everybody can, or catch up from that particular fight. I'm really looking up for that fight. I hope it happens. I hope it do it. And I mean, I don't know why they don't want to fight. In my opinion, Crawford has left that everybody felt like that was the reason why he's not making the fight. He's left him. He's independent, right? And then we have that. We have Spence, who is under PBC. You know, so and we all know that PBC likes to get these things to happen. I mean, unless of course they are trying to make Oscar De La Hoya right by saying that they have some sort of like things that they do behind the scenes that doesn't make the fighters fight. But if it doesn't happen, I'll be very disappointed. You know, because
how about Tank and the King? Right.
I mean, that's another fight that I'm also like looking forward to see. But I feel like it might not happen if Gervonta is not able to fix his legal problems. You know, we can't take away the fact that what is happening now is even affecting his reputation. He's a very good fighter. I don't know. Maybe I should say this. When I saw the news,
Mike Tyson of our time,
Mayweather, that was why these things are coming up again. But I hope it has nothing to do with that. I hope they can also help him to clear his name, like they've done, like they helped him before. But you know, it's contract, it's money matters. I don't know if they'll be able to stick up their tongue for him this time. But I'm hoping like PBC does something to clear his name. And if I see the back and forth, like he's innocent. But well, we have to wait for the court to come up with a verdict on that.
Thank you, Kweku Mensah. Kweku Mensah said we should keep it up in the new year, watching you live. Thank you very much, Kweku Mensah.
Thank you.
How about Kofi? Usyk, finally, Usyk and Fury. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Yep.
Wow. I mean, we are living like, or let me put it this way: we live in the undisputed era where we've seen about 3 undisputed champions now. I think I would love to see it. I would love to see how the Ukrainian champion, you know, how he's going to come up in my opinion, dethrone the Gypsy King. And I also would like to see how the Gypsy King will adapt, you know, to this should I say a small heavyweight. You know, I would like to see how it's going to make it.
A smaller heavyweight.
It's a very
of course, smaller in stature.
He himself is saying that he's eating a lot to be able to make the weight. So you can
wow.
imagine, you know. So
hope it doesn't slow him.
I feel like the key ingredient for Tyson Fury to win this is to go back to his former days where he was fighting and moving, and he has it in him.
Yeah.
You know, we watched the fight against Derek Chisora. We saw how he was still moving and all that, and so I feel like he still has it in him. But you can't take away the fact that Usyk has brought a very different, like dynamic to the heavyweight division. He's the guy that like the Undertaker to undertake everybody, and he's done it like in a very beautiful way. So credit to him. I would really like to see how he's going to do against Tyson Fury when that fight happens. I hope it happens. I've seen like a couple of articles saying that they have agreed already to fight in 2023. And you know how these things go. They can announce it and we can see the fight, and we might see the fight in 2028. You know, so
Kofi, your final word, 1 minute. What do you hope to see for African boxing in the new year?
I think Gabby can say something for me, and then I'll
No, you see, it's obvious. We all know where we have been with the African boxing in the past, and we are all looking forward to the future, and we hope it will get brighter because we've had a lot of African champions, but we need an era where in the modern day, African champions are dominating, not just becoming opponents and just going into fights and losing. It's pathetic. It's heartbreaking to know that all the talent is based in Africa, but we are not getting the chance to shine at the highest level. So I agree with you when you say we need to try and push. And it's all about the total package. It's not just about the boxes. It's about the things you were talking about, promotional, the rights and everything, how to create an industry where it is so attractive for investors and international participants to try and move to Africa and see what we have there and also highlight it to the rest of the world. So my wish for African boxing is just to get to the top. And we've been at a long and high road of shining African continent in the boxing field.
Right. You said it all, Gabby, and I would like to add my words to it. But considering the fact that Ace Promotions is an African promotions company, and is promoting a couple of fighters, Holy Dubeto and Ashi and all those guys. Doc, in your opinion, if there is something, I want to narrow it down to Ghana because we are Ghanaians first, and I know I'm not supposed to be I'm supposed to be like I wasn't supposed to be your host, but I mean the K-Box TV I have been doing this for a very long time, and so when I come on here, I have the edge to still ask you some of these questions. Doc, as a promoter in Africa, what are the challenges that you've had in 2022, especially in Ghana? And do you think, in your opinion, that it is something that you can even overcome at all?
You are putting me on the spot, but I'll take it because that's what we do. I can speak for my outfit, and I can speak a little bit about Ghana boxing. As in our end of year message that I put out, I did say that from a promoter's point of view, we felt that there were some things that the structure of Ghana boxing in general could be improved. And when you are trying to work in a space that does not have great structure, it's very difficult. So we tried that in the beginning of the year as a promotions company to help fix the structure. We did make some impact, but not so well. And as you know, change is not easy. And so therefore, I mean, there are ways we have worked around it, doing the same thing over how it has been done. And if you ask me if that's the best way, it's not always the best way. Things can be improved. Even as of yesterday, I heard stories about people going to court and things like that. When there are these negative and things that are behind the boxing fraternity, things just not always go well. So I'm hoping that in the new year, there's actually a great structure for Ghana boxing where nobody is suing anybody. There is like standardized, just like it's done internationally. If there is a sanction body that sanction fight, the sanction body just does that. They sanction fights, and there are no interferences from whether they are promoting or they are doing. There was a lot of destruction in Ghana boxing in 2022, and I think if that is improved and everybody works in their lane and their space, it makes for a good thing for Ghana boxing. And for a promoter's point of view, that was not encouraging to just go ahead and just bulldoze through doing promotions. And it kind of affected our boxers. We had one of our fighters fight on somebody's promotion the beginning of the year, and we did one promotion. It just wasn't encouraging to just bulldoze through doing things the same way, and we tried to change things. So I'm hoping that in the new year, things change. We still have to do it's very difficult, Kofi, as I speak, because as I speak, we are thinking about doing a promotions because our fighters need to fight.
Sure.
But then it's like, why do we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again? And I don't want to send my fighters out to other countries to fight, period. But then it's like, change is not going to come within a day or 2 or 3 months. So it's a difficult space to work in, but we are working on it. I hope the authorities come to our aid and work with us.
How many shows did you do as a promoter last year?
One.
Now, this is me coming to analyze everything in Ghana. I know you wanted me to say everything in 1 minute, but please pardon me, because I know if anybody comes back to watch this tape, especially a fighter or a boxer,
and I'm going to put you on. I'm going to take us off so that you go ahead.
Yeah.
Especially because the fighters know that I speak for them. If I don't say this and they come to watch this video, they'll go like, Kofi, you had the opportunity to tell them exactly what it was and you never did. So thank you, STV, for giving me the opportunity. Let me say this once overall. In 2022, boxing in Ghana wasn't of the best, in my opinion. Not just that, but in the eyes of promoters, in the eyes of managers, in the eyes of matchmakers. Why am I saying this? The Ghana Boxing Authority was able to get a sponsor, and in the world, what the promoters and the managers were expecting was for the Ghana Boxing Authority to bring this TV partner on board. Like I was saying, or like I said earlier, South Africa has ESPN helping them to stream their events online for promoters. So why is it that if a TV or somebody with a TV has come to promote Ghana boxing, why wouldn't the Ghana Boxing Authority show them the way or introduce the promoters for them to be able to do their shows, and the TV people can come in to stream this event for people to watch? Boxing is done by a couple of stakeholders: the regulator, the GBA, the promoters, the managers, the boxers, and the media. But in our case, the Ghana Boxing Authority wants to control everything. I mean, I find it very upset. If there was an opportunity for Ghana boxing to grow in 2022, I would have said yes, because we had a TV, we had IMAX TV, who came into the game and wanted to stream shows. So at what point did they change from being a TV to being promoters? And even if the GBA even if the GBA wanted to go ahead with this arrangement, why wouldn't they have communicated with even IMAX for them to also consider streaming the shows of the promoters too as well, so that together all the fighters and everything in Ghana boxing would have run smoothly? Because see, a promoter that has boxers will not just push his fighters to go fight on the IMAX card. It won't happen. And so what you did was you tried to involve the clubs or the boxing gyms, and the thing that we didn't want to see happen. What happened? What happened is that amateur fighters were turning professional fighters when they themselves felt or knew that it wasn't their time yet for them to become professional fighters. But because of the arrangement that the Ghana Boxing Authority had, coaches were forced to turn their amateur fighters to become professional fighters. Why? How does the Ghana Boxing Authority sleep or allow some of these things to happen? We just heard from Aspire Promotions. The whole of 2023, they had one show. If you speak to some of the very prominent promoters in Ghana, Kabek, who does shows almost every 25th of December. I didn't see it this year. It didn't happen. In fact, in December, we have the back-to-back. Just like we have the Afrochelas and everything going on in Ghana, we also have our own boxing festivals happening from 25th, 26th. It happens like that. And so I always know that around that time, Ghana is going to be busy. People around the world, from Team Boxio and all that, will be expecting boxing to happen, or for live streaming to be happening on some platforms for them to share to the world that, hey, go watch what is happening in Ghana. But this year, today is 29th, 30th, and tomorrow is like it's done. And the whole of this time, we've only had, I think, only one show so far this December. Some of Techi's promoter Bazooka will be doing a show, I think 30th. I think today or tomorrow, yeah. And that will end the year. It is not supposed to be like that. In my opinion, the players that make boxing happen in Ghana or anywhere in the world includes managers, includes promoters, it includes the regulators, it includes the matchmakers, it includes the media. If the GBA wants Ghana boxing to be as attractive as it used to be, I feel like these people need to sit in the room, have a conversation, and let the facilitator or the person who has come in that says that he wants to stream like the live shows for promoters, bring them to the table. Let the promoters who have worked hard all this while have a taste of their hard work, or enjoy the fruit of their labor. I mean, that is how I feel. It's very unfortunate that we have a businessman who have monetized the Ghana Boxing Authority and not thinking of the welfare of the other people who are in the game. I mean, Amu Bediako hasn't brought his fighters to come compete on any of the shows. We have how do you say it, Richie Kome, who keeps talking down on the Ghana Boxing Authority, and you can't blame him. I saw what they did with Isaac Dogbe as a sort of PR stunt, but I'm telling you, deep down, We all know that what they did was pure PR. It is not the reality on the ground. If Dogbe can introduce his coaches, his people to Ghana, for them to come adopt a couple of fighters from Ghana and then take them to the US to go showcase their skills, then we'll have something. Then I'll go like, yeah, that is what it is. But what we did was just pure PR. Like you said, we are fighting instead of the people having a competition in the ring, they're rather having it in the court. It shouldn't happen. I will use this platform to wish all the fighters like a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope 2023 gets better. Even though I know with the administration, like it is even hard to even wish them well, because because at the end of the day, they will still come to my DM and go like, Kofi, what you said, it is not the reality on the ground. And if I speak to promoters, I speak to managers, it is not the reality on the ground. If something can change, I think it is now. Because let us be honest, in 2022 or in 2020 and even 2021, boxing was even much better than 2022, where we were expecting that COVID is gone, so now we can have the opportunity to see more shows. We didn't see it like that, and it is very bad. It is not what we are looking for. We hope some things can change. We hope the Ghana Boxing Authority sits down with all the players and come up with an agreement that will make them promote the Ghana boxing well. The GBA cannot do it alone. The GBA cannot do this alone. It needs everybody to come on board for them to be able to do it. And I'm not a villain here. I'm really trying to find a way that Ghana boxing can stand on its feet. We are losing it. Now all the shows are going to Tanzania. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm only saying we need a healthy and a very competitive like African market so that everybody can showcase their fighters, and hopefully like the international market can tap in and then take talent from there. And that is what we want. And so, I mean, Ace, thanks for having me on the show. I only hope that the people in Ghana boxing can read, because I'm scared. I'm really scared.
What can? You said it.
Even some journalists are part of the plots, not making things happen. For me, I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. Even some journalists, when you are trying to say the truth, because they feel like I don't even know what they are even benefiting from it. At the end of the day, ask yourself, if you're a fighter or if you manage somebody in Ghana and you pay somebody like, let's say, 2,000 Ghana cedis every month and he's not fighting, Charlie.
Hey, I feel Kofi. I feel your passion. I feel you want Ghana boxing to be better. I feel you. I have done it as a promoter, as a manager, and so I know exactly where you are coming from. It's not fun. It's not fun when your boxers keep texting you, when are they next fighting? When are they next fighting? I have seen a whole lot of different side of boxing, and hopefully we keep improving. Gabby, you have something to say?
I was thinking, I was of the view, the concept behind the IMAX Boxing League or whatever. It's a nice one. It's the concept. The concept behind it is a nice one. I feel the execution and the various parts of the table coming together to work is where the problems became humongous, or it became enormous. The issue is we haven't learned how to work as a united industry from time immemorial till now. So even if someone brings the best concept, the people involved, the institution itself, has it gelled well to be able to allow a free flow of business in that circle? That is our problem. Everything you have said boils down to exactly the boxers, the promoters, the institution that's sanctioning bodies. There should be a unity or unifying force amongst these people, so that businessmen behind will be so attracted to boxing that when they are coming, they won't end up in court like what is happening. It is sad because there's a signal to another investor somewhere. We don't want these to be the hallmark of our Ghanaian boxing. Court issues should be out. We know that in business, the right things must be done, but there should be a way of managing these kind of PR The football people are also watching and doing their own thing. They've gone to court recently. But are we as strong as these football people who have done their work? And at the end of the day, when they're going for World Cup under 20 or whatever, you get millions. If we haven't reached their level and we have started doing court cases at this time, where is the future of Ghana boxing?
As for unity,
That is what I'm thinking.
when I came into boxing in Ghana, I realized it doesn't exist. In the years that I have done it, it seems like it's still the same. I've always, anytime I got an audience with a stakeholder, whether it's a promoter, a boxer, even some of our allied elite boxers, I asked them, why don't we work together and export Ghana boxing? And it almost always seems like the future is bleak, like there is no hope, because everybody wants to do their own thing, or everybody wants to just benefit right away and right there. So coming together, and I have experienced it recently as promoters, when we try to do things together. It seems like everybody wants to work in silo. That never works, but it's a new year, and we can only hope for the best, right? Kofi, thanks for joining us. And we would love to have you more in the new year. We're going to do more live shows. That's one
hopefully this year we are able to come up with a schedule that favors both of us.
Exactly. And Kofi, believe it or not, because I got some text from people. Sometimes we feel like our voices are not heard. Kofi, I know you are busy, but you also got to start going live, because I think we can't always just we can't always just be in the back and talk. And we have to sometimes you have to be out there to make a change. So let's make it a point of this year to do that.
You know, Doc, you are very right about this. We left the industry. I'm not saying I've left. I mean, sometimes I sit back and I feel there are some people like in the industry that, in my opinion, or when I was back home, I felt like had the sport at heart. I mean, it has taken 2022 for me to realize that it is not the case, because I was really expecting them to speak up. I was expecting them to be the voice for the fighters, especially because, you know, in our case, we are not back home. When I was back home, it was very easy for me to go to these places and have time, interview the fighters and have conversations and all that. You know, when you're not back home and you say something, sometimes they feel like somebody's feeding you like from one side. When you want them to have the conversation too, they run away from it. So I've realized in 2022 that it is not the case. I realized that there were some fighters I charged them to go like, hey, go speak to this person and then let me know what the person says. And some of them were denied. So I realized that, okay, I feel like you say, you really need to be the voice for the guys and speak up, and hopefully we can see the change that we want to see. I mean, if I go to Ghana today and I want to become a promoter, it is so unattractive that I rather want to keep my money in my pocket and spend it on chicken and ice, you know. But I mean, no, Gabby, see, you are sitting next to one of the few people who've had the privilege of having the audience of Ludi Bella, right? I don't know what the conversation was, but if you've been able to have if you've been able to sit in his presence, it means tomorrow or next week or next month, you can have a different kind of conversation to say that, hey, I want you to come to Africa and to come and invest. And maybe it could work. Maybe it will not work. Let's assume it works. And then you bring him back home. Is this what we're going to do? Because I have sent a couple of investors back home. Some of them were able to meet a few of my the coaches back home, just to have an idea of what I was talking about here in the Netherlands. They came back. Everything just changed in a matter of a week. When they went, they had conversations with some of these fighters, had a conversation with some of the trainers, and I made one of the guys who was handling K-Box TV in Ghana come up with the fees and everything in Ghana. In the space of a week, everything changed to times5. So Gabi, if this guy who agreed for us to do shows in Ghana was in Ghana and saw everything, came back here, we sat down, was very excited, and then in just like a space of 1 week, I request for the same things that he came to see back in Ghana, and I showed to him. what does it tell him? And he's an investor, so obviously he would want to have like a very solid, how do I say this in such, like he would like to go to sleep knowing that he's invested properly and his money is working for him properly. But if today is like this, tomorrow is like that, today is like and I'm not talking about the time when inflation was in to say that, oh, like the CDA, the dollar was running. No, I was talking about when the CD was very stable, right? When everything was really stable. So I mean, we just do ourselves a lot of disserviceness if we don't really have to, if we don't really look at the longevity of Ghana boxing. We really need to sit back down and then consider all of these things and find a way of making it better. Because I can't do it alone. Even if the three of us decide to come together and pull up our resources and go back to Ghana, I don't think, Gabby, you go to sleep if somebody calls you from Ghana that you sent $2,000 to do a particular show, and then they call you to tell you that, oh, all of a sudden the GBA has decided to increase X to go a fee from X to Y, and the gap between the X and Y can even, buy you like a ring. So these are the things we need to look at. And I won't lie, a lot of us are pushing on this front on how we can go back home and do something, So anytime that we hear what is happening in Ghana, and it makes it feel like we are working in vain, It's the only thing that keeps us going is the fact that we have a few fighters, or let me put it this way, I have few friends who are fighters. I do this thing because I love my friends, So if I was privileged to go to school, they weren't privileged to go to school. But they can even give me the opportunity to even become like a millionaire, because the sport that they do is something that like makes it changes their life like within minutes. Look at Richie Comey. He's like a big boy now. He just left a few Ghana cedis to like what, a millionaire in one fight. Don't forget that he collected $1 million in one fight, and that is what boxing can do. And so I believe that if the fighters are given the right opportunity, are given the right guidance, look at some referee thing that they did in Ghana. Who was the referee that they brought to come educate this guy?
Kofi, if I leave you, we will not live here today.
Especially with Ghanaian boxing.
Let's do it in the.
Anyway, I think, like I say, we'll have to just come up with episodes, come back here and then have a conversation.
Sure.
I don't know if for that day some of these stakeholders will be willing to come sit here, because now from 2023, it is a kind of fire for fire on boxing. If you come and sit here and then you don't give us proper accounts, we'll come and fire you and then you go.
I think sometimes it's the only way we move forward. Thank you very much, Kofi. See you in the new year. It was nice chatting with you. I know it's late at your end. Thanks for staying up for us.
Thank you, my people. I wish you guys well.
Charlie, same.
Gabby, welcome to the US. Enjoy your life, man. And Doc, we'll pick it up from the other side.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we're going to bring our show to an end. It was our review for the year. Before we go, our story of the year was
Usyk Lomachenko. Why Usyk Lomachenko?
Well, we all know what has been going on in Ukraine with the invasion of Ukraine in the beginning of the year. These two boxers took a break, went back, did what they had to do for their country, came back into the ring and won, and they are moving on with their career. So that's our story of the year. Thanks for joining us. We really loved all the comments, all those that joined. We focused a little bit on Africa and Ghana, to be specific. In the new year, we're going to talk more about that. Any last minute words?
Just watch out for Ace TV. 2023 is going to be a great year. We're coming with fire. Yeah.
Thank you. Ace TV is going to bring a lot of content coming into the new year. So watch out next month. All right. It was nice talking. See you all. Bye-bye.